Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. What's cracking? Make sure you get over to my new YouTube channel. It's called Green's House. Amazing people with interesting stories to tell. I sit down with them and we talk about it. We talk it out. We hash it out. I ask about their life, their upbringing. How did they get into this? All these different questions. We cover everything: life, love, family, stories. It's a beautiful thing. Get over there, be a part of it. Click it, like, subscribe, share, and all that good shit. So today, I want to talk about something that I'm really getting sick of. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. When is it going to go away? And it will, because everything does. In this 24-hour news cycle, everything has an expiration date. But when the fuck are we going to be done with the coverage of these damn protests about the war in Gaza? Am I the asshole? Am I the Grinch? Am I the only one who is sick and fucking tired of hearing about these protests on Harvard campuses and these protests in the street? There's one I read about today where these people were protesting for a ceasefire in Gaza, Palestine, or whatever, and they blocked traffic in Los Angeles. Now, you might know many things about Los Angeles, or maybe you don't know a lot about Los Angeles, but let me tell you something you do know. You know that the traffic in Los Angeles is catastrophic on a regular day. No holiday, nothing. Just a Wednesday afternoon. The traffic is crippling. Look at this. You got school buses. Did you see those school buses there? Look at these assholes. You want to go and do something? You want to help the Palestinians? You want to end? You want to ceasefire in Gaza? You need to go one of two places. You either take that bullshit to Washington, D.C., or you take it to Gaza. Because anywhere else, you're just being an asshole. Wait till the video starts over again. I'll show you. Look at these pieces of shit, these jobless turds. One of them's out there in a mask. Stop. Look at this shit. Not in our names. That's what their t-shirts say. So coordinated. Who financed this? These people don't have jobs. Workers don't protest at 10 o'clock in the morning. All these people, you think they're protesters? You got a work truck here with all kinds of tools hanging off of it. Look at these school buses. You got two buses here, and you got the short bus back here. You know what kind of hell is taking place inside of these school buses? You're stopped in traffic trying to take these little mongrels to school. They're in the middle of a fucking Prime Energy and Takis rush. All the shit breakfasts that their parents probably gave them. And they're stuck in traffic for what? Traffic accident? Is it road work? No. Some dumbass leftist college student turd who has no life experience, who's never sat in traffic like you people. You people? Like all these hardworking Americans trying to go to work. Those turds sitting there lined up across the roadway, they don't know anything about this. They haven't worked for anything. They haven't built anything. I hope those are motorists who are sick and tired of being stuck in traffic by you little assholes, you little 20-year-old assholes. Your voice still sounds like this. And you're out there fucking these people's morning up. For what? Something you have no control over? Something you can't stop from Los Angeles? Take your ass to Washington, D.C. or to Gaza. Those are the only two places that you can protest for this ceasefire that you wish for. That ain't going to fucking happen until either the Palestinians or the Israelis decide it's going to happen. You ain't going to do shit from here. This is virtue signaling at its finest. Kids across college campuses, upper crust, Ivy League colleges, Actually, we want a ceasefire. You don't protest for a ceasefire in Chicago, do you? You want to see their body count? There's plenty of screaming mothers holding their bloody babies right here in America, and you ain't protesting about that shit. But you're going to get together so you can, because you want a virtue signal, but you don't want to get your hands dirty. You want to protest on the campus of Cal Poly or Berkeley, where they cultivate this shit. This leftist commie shit that we just can't, no matter how much nice green grass you rub your shoe on, you can't get we can't seem to get this shit off the bottom of our shoe. America. That's where these are the campuses of these colleges, the Berkeleys and the Harvards. They cultivate this. They take the spray bottle and they spray the plant of communism, and they spray it and they play their favorite music and they trim it like a little bonsai tree. This is what they want. They nurture this shit. So that way you can virtue signal, I got arrested. So you can tell your kids, I was on the right side of history. I protested. Here's a picture of your dad in some handcuffs in Los Angeles. But the shit's going on in the Middle East. Get your ass over there. What did Arnold say in Total Recall? Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Gaza. Once you get over there, you want to make a difference. You patchouli oil scented punk. California, what'd they do? This is Southern California. Let's go up to Northern California, to the state capital in Sacramento, 20 minutes from where I live, 20 minutes south of where I live, 20 minutes with no traffic. And Gavin Newsom, check this shit out. Check this bitch ass motherfucker out. Check out Gavin's bitch ass. Look what he did. Boy, I'm telling you. Again, the protesters, these damn protesters, they're fucking shit up in Southern California and they're fucking it up in Northern California. And they're letting them. Gavin Newsom ducks protesters by canceling in-person Sacramento tree lighting ceremony. In a bid to avoid an awkward and politically uncomfortable scene, Wednesday evening, California Governor Gavin Newsom has canceled the public in-person Christmas lighting ceremony in favor of a remotely held, pre-recorded event. Now, I'm not pro Gavin Newsom coming out in public and speaking. I don't like that son of a bitch. I wish they'd given the basement treatment that they gave Sloppy Joe. But what I am saying is you're allowing these dumbass protesters to win. Now look what he did up in the streets of San Francisco. There wasn't a needle. There wasn't a pile of human shit. There wasn't a filthy tent. There wasn't a junkie overdosing and foaming at the mouth on the sidewalk. They cleared it out and cleaned it out. They repainted stuff. They washed the sidewalks. Alakazam, Alakazoo got rid of the damn homeless people. I don't know where they put them. They probably took them to some facility so they can be, I remember watching this episode of some travel channel thing, and they were in Jamaica, and they would catch these crabs, but crabs are bottom feeders. They eat dead animals and shit, and they sift through the mud for their food. So they would trap these crabs and then feed them mango and papaya for like 3 or 4 days. So it would flush their system, so the meat would be clean and it wouldn't taste like mud. That's probably what they did to these homeless people. They probably took them off the street, kidnapped them, took them somewhere about a week before Xi Jinping showed up, cleaned out their system, gave them celery stalks and shit. So when they did something weird with either them and or their blood, with all these dignitaries in some building somewhere where they're dressed in these gowns going, and Nancy Pelosi takes a knife and cuts the throat of a fucking chicken. Is that what happened to these homeless people? Because they snapped their fingers in the streets. At least the parade route in San Francisco was clean as a whistle. So you can do that in San Fran shithole? You cleaned up San Francisco? You can't put up some barriers? Take notes from Washington, D.C. Remember they put up barriers around the Capitol? and sent the National Guard there to keep you back? You can't do that at the state capitol to keep these protesters from ruining a tradition, from ruining the evening of the people who wanted to come out to the tree lighting ceremony? You let them win? Of course they did. But here's what this slimy, salacious cocksucker had to say. And of course, in the interest of authenticity here at Jericho Green Enterprises, we like to do people's voices accurately as possible when we're reading these stories. And as you know, Gavin Newsom has a slight rasp to his voice. I personally think, if you've heard me say this before, I think when he goes down to the depths of Hades to visit his aunt, Nancy Pelosi, I think the heat was too much for him and it scorched his vocal cords a little bit. That's why he has a little rasp. But you think he'd be used to it since he's Satan's personal secretary. We continue to see how protests across the country impacting the safety of events of all scales, and for the safety impact. It's impacting them. It's not bad. They're just impacting. They're not climbing on top of poles and ripping down flags. It's just impacting them. As we continue to see protests across the country impacting the safety of events of all scales, and for the safety and security of all participating members and guests, including children and families, because all of a sudden they give a fuck about families and kids. The ceremony this year will be virtual. The program is unchanged, and viewers can tune in Wednesday evening to watch this year's festivities. Oh, I'm sorry, that was his spokesperson. But you probably couldn't understand it. I couldn't do their voice because they probably got a gag, like a ball gag in their mouth, like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. Palestinian rights groups slammed the governor for the decision. Governor Newsom decided to cancel the tree lighting ceremony rather than face the public that is enraged by his shameful silence on the genocide in Gaza. Why didn't he go over there? You like to travel the world and talk to world leaders. Then you go to China a couple months ago, where you knocked over that little Chinese kid on the basketball court and you allowed the Chinese government to pack your anus with kilos of fentanyl to bring back over here. So why don't you go over to Gaza? Why don't you talk to Yasser Arafat? No, that's not. Not Yasser Arafat, Benjamin Netanyahu. Why don't you talk to Yahoo? Why don't you talk to whoever's in charge of Hamas in Palestine? Why don't you go over there and broker a deal? You want to get international. You have designs on the White House. So why don't you go over there, Gavin? Piece of shit. I'm in bed with China. So they're winning. Sick and tired of them. Sick and tired of looking on my feed, turn on the TV, and seeing these bullshit protests. If you're not in D.C. or on the Gaza Strip, you're full of shit. And you're doing this so you can lay down your empty head at night. I helped a colored person. Good night. You know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. Make sure you like and subscribe to the new channel, Green's House, and hit the Teespring link to get some merch. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.